bring it back. I have to speak into the microphone because we are recording this production, and it is being live cast across the universe, which is why the quality of the show will not be diminished in spite of the fact that DC has a problem with coming out when it's raining. Go figure, right? I am not going to talk bad about DC because I only live a block away, so it's really convenient for me to walk here in the rain. But my name is Joseph Green, and this is Bloom Bars, and at this moment, I would like you to clap as riotously loud as humanly possible. Everybody, please clap. Woo! Make some noise. Yes! Yes. All right. We're going to pursue that line of enthusiasm for the rest of the evening. Because there are two things that are true. One, that it doesn't take a whole lot of people to have a profound experience, right? We are here to share and express ourselves, and that's what's going to happen. And no matter what, you choose what you get out of a situation. So I'm not going to pretend like there's a whole bunch of people here. We are definitely going to have a very small and intimate occasion. I'm going to do some poems, and then you're going to sing. Remind me of your name again? Nadia Danielle. Yes, the stage name. Nadia Danielle. And with 3 or 4 songs, depending on what his spirit tells him. And then our host, Melanie. How many? Did I say your name right? Did I say it weird? You. I just call you Mel? Yeah. Oh, but that is your whole name, or is it Mel short for something else? It's Melanie, yeah. Okay. You just emphasize the E. Melanie. Yes. I just feel like there are 2 E's. Are there 2 E's at the end of your name? No? Just in my brain? I apologize. Mel is finding one of her favorite poems, and she's going to read one of her favorite poems for us off the internet, because while we can't do cover songs, we can find poetry on the internet and share that with the world here at Bloom Bars. For those of you who don't know, which I actually believe are the 2 people in the front row, Bloom Bars is not just a nonprofit, is not just a performance space. It is a staple in this community. Even though there are not a lot of people here now, there have been international performers of much esteem and local performers who have gone on to do wonderful things that all come through this stage. We are all ages all the time, which is a wonderful thing, because they're not any spaces that I know in DC that keep that role, even when it is adult-focused programming, which is great because it allows us the space to always bring young people in. And there are times, definitely, when we have young people here. My son is about to be 3, and his bedtime is broaching 9:15. So one day soon, he will be here in the audience, and I hope that we keep that going. A lot of times, poets, performers, me especially, when I first started working here, I was very remiss about that idea of, like, I can't curse. What about my artistic expression? And then I found, honestly, like, you can make a box, and you put inside of it all the things that you are not allowed to say here. And then there becomes this infinite space of creativity that exists outside of that box where you have to expand your mind. And I've actually written poems for here that I've been able to use in schools in my work that I probably would have never done if not part of this space. So I try not to think of it as a hindrance at all, but an opportunity to expand, right? There are a couple announcements I'm going to make throughout the evening, however long the evening lasts, but I'm going to stop chatting impromptuously. Shakespeare is what I say whenever I make up a word. And I'm going to do a poem for you guys to kick the show off, if that's okay. Can I do a poem? Sure. Yeah, poem. I did not come here prepared tonight to do any poetry. I was one of those things where I'm like, it's going to be a bunch of people on the list, and I'm not going to have to do any poems. But here's a poem called Hands. Just wanted to make sure I remembered the poem because I wasn't prepared. Here we go. I'm going to do like the gentle behind the music version of the poem, right? Not behind the music. What is it called? On MTV, you used to... the storytelling version of the song. I wish I had a stool, but I don't. But I'm also going to, like, have a conversation with you guys. This poem is called Hands, and then we can talk about it afterwards, and I can be like, this is why I wrote the poem. Today, I am doused in guilt, and I don't know what to do with these hands. Facebook and Twitter have informed me that my friends have joined together in digital solidarity to fight for our rights or for your memory, or so this never happens again. Photos from the front line of our most righteous of selves, inspirational hashtags and memes. I realize this has happened before. I wonder if I listen to the recordings of your murder, will I feel anything different? To me, your life and death is no more than a Facebook update, a trending topic on Twitter. Hashtag, I hope somebody is still praying for your mother. Hashtag, is it okay to talk about gun control now? Hashtag, what is the meaning behind all of this? Hashtag, all black bodies look alike until they're murdered. I am overwhelmed by the irrational rantings of a society too worried about, too busy to fight for black. See, this is what happens when you change the tempo of your poem a little bit to try to go storytelling mode. I'm gonna start back from the line where I messed up, but you were with me, right? All right. I am overwhelmed by the irrational rantings of a world too busy arguing about whether or not black lives are important enough to fight for, to actually fight for black lives. But as I stand here ranting, I realize it's because I don't know what to do with these hands that must hold and protect my son. They are not bulletproof. They are made of the same brown material that have seen so many murdered. Before I bow at the altar of suburban flight, I realize that somewhere somebody is still crying for you, that somewhere a black mother is gathering all the suspicious clothing her children own and dressing the scarecrow in the front yard and burning our post-racial society in effigy, that somewhere a black female is being followed in a Macy's on suspicion of being a black female, that somewhere, hands up, please don't shoot, that somewhere, why did you shoot me? You told me to get my ID, that somewhere, I'm sorry, my music is too loud for you to hear my humanity, that somewhere, I still can't breathe, that somewhere, they are toasting the man who did this to you. And the clans are gathering, only this time they won't be wearing hoods. They'll be dressed in suits, cloaked by law, charged with progressing the doctrine that if you do not look like you belong here, you can be murdered. That if you look like you belong here, you can be murdered. I will not always be able to protect my son. I pray that by then, black children and fear, black women and violence, black trans and assault, black queer and endangered, black male and thug, black bodies and deceased are no longer synonyms. At night, when I take my 2-year-old son's clothes off, I say, hands up, Henry. He thinks we are playing a game. I pray he will know what to do with his hands. Thank you. It's appropriate to clap. Yeah, I'm gonna clap. I'm gonna clap. It's a dark, deep, heavy poem. So, behind the music, right? So it's a funny story about that poem, as funny as you can get about that poem. I wrote that poem here at Bloom Bars back when we were doing like writing workshops. And a friend of mine, it was a writing workshop, and then there was the open mic, and a friend of mine was like, yo, you need to write about what's on your mind. And the original version of that poem was written about 3 weeks after the news hit about Trayvon. And it was originally an accusation of like how I had only heard about these things through social media, and I was very cynical about whether or not we were going to be able to use that as like an appropriate tool to protest. I'm old school, I'm old. And so both of those things combined together, I just was tired of hearing about it through memes, through hashtags, through celebrities wearing hoodies and their like Facebook photos. And then I did the poem for a slam that was about social justice things, and it went really well, but mostly because it was like, you know, black people talking black stuff, and all the black people in the audience was like, yeah. And then I got on a slam team, and my slam team really examined the poem the way that it was. And at this point, when Trayvon happened, I wasn't a father. I didn't know I was going to be a father until maybe a few months later that year. October, November of that year, I found out I was going to be a dad. And so that was new. And so there was a new life to the piece. There was a new reason to write the piece. There was a new thing to talk about. And I infused my son into it, and it took the cynicism out of the poem and put the stakes into it. I have been more proud of the work that this poem has done because I travel and I tour and I do shows for young people and adults alike, and it starts conversations. And that's what I want my art to do now. I've been doing poetry for a very long time, and I was in slam for a very long time, and I was getting very restless with like people clapping and then me walking off stage and then like not knowing what was supposed to happen next, you know. And we always talk about these very serious things, and like people score you, and then we clap for the person who won afterwards. But then there's not like a session where we like sit down and talk about like how did that person's art like affect you? Like, what are you going to do now after this? Which is why I love writing workshops, because like conversation happens, and why I love like moments like this where an open mic where you can like do your poem and then talk about it a little bit, and then hopefully at the very least move someone to think beyond this moment and think beyond the fact that, oh, you're good at your craft. Oh, Joseph LMS is a good poet. I really don't care if you walk away thinking that Joseph LMS is a good poet unless you have money to hire me to do something. But I care more about the fact that you go home and you talk to whoever you love about this thing, and it ignites something. Does that make sense? All right. I'm going to do one more poem, and then we got your Mel. You got your poem ready to go?
I'm not ready.
You're not?
I'm trying to get like a rainy day poem.
Oh, yeah, I think you're trying too hard, Mel. I think you're trying way too hard. I think you need to get a poem before the lights go out, is what you need. You need a haiku fast. I'm going to do one more poem, then I'll bring you up, and you can sing us a song, yeah? Okay? And then I'm going to bring you up, and you can sing us a song, and then we can move on there. I'm going to change the tone a little bit. I'm going to try to do something a little more, it's not funny. It's not funny, but it's a little more positive, right? And I did this poem on this stage for my first feature in DC, which I believe was at Bloom Bars. And it's like recorded and online, which is awesome. Thank you for that. And it's called To My Nephew on his 11th birthday. Funny story about this, my nephew just turned 17 and came to an open mic that I hold in Virginia for youth on his birthday. And like I made him sit there while I did this poem for him, which is great for me. I don't know how he felt about it. But a teacher that I did this poem for in his classroom, his son is about to turn 11. And he called me and said, do you have it recorded? I was like, I do. I just recorded it, actually, in my basement. This happens to be where I live. And he's like, I'm going to show it to my son on his 11th birthday. Work. For my nephew, on his 11th birthday, I'm sorry for how incomplete this poem will always be. The sun will come out. Not always tomorrow. At times, it'll rain for weeks. It will seem like lifetimes. Your uncle has known monsoons. I have drank them straight, no chaser for you. So when I tell you, like your grandmother told me, that this too shall pass, you will know I mean it. You were so cool! Keep that. There's always those that don't care what the world says that cultivate cool. It is always those that don't care what the world says that cultivate cool. Be cooler than me. I ran stereotype first into the skewed acceptance of the popular kids. It eventually left me unraveled. I am now proudly all poetry and nerve endings. Be you. It'll be easier in the end. Rebel against standardized test confines. Be bound only by the infinite depths of your mind. Embrace the barbed wire paradox of existence. Inhale, relax, get up, keep moving. Time is coming for you. She is already here. Try not to break anything you love. Most times it'll be unavoidable. When given the option, make love only, make love often. Hate will deplete your God-given reservoirs of optimism and hope. Cynicism is a coward substitute. Even when clever, it never builds relationships, only barriers. Ignore everything I said so far in this poem, or don't. It was always your choice, and it never was. Some will say that everything that happens happens for a reason. Others will say it is already written. It is all absurd. Happiness and blessings are not seeds sowed in fields of deserve. You will only ever find happiness in the things that you do. Do something greater than yourself. And above all else, find something to believe in. Your father is not perfect. I know. He is my brother. He is heavy. In moments of love-infused anger, he will act out in a manner that may seem rash, harsh, even judgmental, just as he did with his father. Forgive him. Though he will not ask, do it anyway. For until you look down the barrel of a bassinet, God to a life you created, you will never be able to understand the sacrifices made for you to be able to hear this poem and understand it. Your parents will fight. Your grandparents will fight. They will be cruel to each other. They will attest that every decision they make is in your best interest. They will do this in such a self-righteous manner as to insinuate they have forgotten that someone did the exact same for them, mostly getting it wrong. No matter who says you are not, you will always be all right. Remember what I said earlier. Forgive them, though they will not ask. Do it anyway. Cameron. We will always be half-winged angels, imperfect and incapable of flight, my angel. Jump anyway. Dive every day for the possibility of feeling the wind of greatness across your face just once before you die. Love, your Uncle Joe. Woo! Poetry. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Calm down. Calm down, crowd. I know it's amazing. Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. So now I remember, Nadia. Okay, I was like, I remember your second name, but I don't remember your first name. It's Nadia Danielle, right? All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to stop talking to you because I think I've at my threshold, which means that you were at your threshold like 100 or 200 words ago. So please put your hands together for the singing style of Nadia Danielle.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. I wasn't expecting to sing tonight. I just came to watch. But, let's see. I'm a singer, songwriter. I wish I could do poems like you. I do prose. I mean, I write stuff, but it's more prose stuff. I don't know if it's poetry exactly. Yeah. And this song I've been working on since about October. I'm new to DC area.
Where you from?
I'm from New York.
Hey.
Originally from all over New York City.
Gotcha.
But but I moved here from Brooklyn, and I really like this song, so I'm gonna sing this tonight. I think it's appropriate. Give me a second. Oh, how I long to take flight somewhere deep in the night, where my dreams are so open, still hoping somewhere where my heart can run free. Take me out of this misery, still running in circles, 'cause so many people live their lives waiting for forever, watching their life pass them by, lost in time. Don't live your life on the fence. Explore to your heart's content. You have the right to dance with the unknown, and just because you don't know what you want, take action. Not all who wander are truly lost, 'cause so many people live their lives waiting for forever, watching their life pass them by, lost in time. Ooh.
always the bashful ones. What? I just moved here from Brooklyn, New York, and I mean I sing sometimes, but I mean, and Whitney Houston. Oh my God. Thank you. No, thank you. Your response is you're welcome. And that's what I love about Bloom Bars, man. Golly, someone was asking me today. I said I was trying to convince one of my coworkers to come, and they're like, "I'm so like done with open mics," and I'm like, "Well, we do a little more than just poetry at Bloom Bars, and you should come because I am always floored at some point during the show. So thank you again. Please come back, and yeah, we should talk because I do other open mics, and I would love for you to be at those open mics too because."
I'm actually breaking out of my shell because I was never the type to go to an open mic. I always had a band, so
Yeah.
I felt comfort with the people I had.
Surrounding you, yeah, instead of you being the only, yeah, the only flower growing from the garden. Bloom Bars joke. But I think the great thing about being in a new space, a new town, and going out there, you know, especially like at the, you know, behooving of someone who spends way too much time at night listening to people talk, is that you will do what you just did there, and then the band will come. Like your new DC band is waiting in the audience at an open mic to be like impressed, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know if you know this, but I have a full recording studio, and I would like to offer you a deal." It just takes 100 to 150 open mics, and then it's your turn. No, but no, definitely. Please keep coming back. And if you have another song in you after Adriel does his thing, we would love to have you back on stage to close us out, take us home. Yeah, so be thinking about that. I see you put your phone down. I'm assuming it's because you found the poem. Yes! Please put your hands together for Mel.
All right, I'll give it credit. Oh, it is. Everyone always says it's bright up here, but it actually is. Okay, so I was telling Joseph before I don't really do this whole open mic thing. I am a very big appreciator of it, so I'm not really sure if I'm gonna read this right, but it's called "The Sound of the Trees," and I work in forest management, and I love just going hiking and by myself and just like listening to the sounds around me. So this poem kind of reflects that a bit. It's by Robert Frost. I wonder about the trees. Why do we wish to bear forever the noise of these, more than another noise? So close to our dwelling place, we suffer them by the day, till we lose all measure of pace and fixity in our joys, and acquire a listening air. They are that talks of going, but never gets away, and that talks no less for knowing, as it grows wiser and older, that now it means to stay. My feet tug at the floor, and my head sways to my shoulder. Sometimes when I watch trees sway, from the window or the door, I shall set forth for somewhere. I shall make the reckless choice, some days when they are in voice, and tossing so as to scare the white clouds over them on. I shall have less to say, but I shall be gone. That's it.
And what did you think you were going to do wrong?
I don't know. It's like not have the expression or like.
The emphasis and the syllable. I think that one, your performance was much better than my French accent, and two, thank you for sharing. You know, everybody has the thing that they do, and I think too often we don't show appreciation for the things that move us. You know, someone asked me if I wasn't a poet or if I didn't do poetry or theater, like what would I do? And I would be a dancer is my answer. Like it's the thing that I spend the most time looking at outside of my own art form and wishing that I could do. And I don't know how to do an appreciative dance, and I can't do a cover dance. But I go and I show my appreciation through my patronage of those things as often as I can. So thank you for throwing your dime into the hat of what we do and just sharing beautiful words, because it's definitely more about the effort than it is the product, right? And that means something to me. Adriel, how do you say your last name? Borshansky?
Yeah, close.
Borshansky.
Yeah.
That better? It's still not right, though.
It's better though.
You say it to me one more time.
Borshansky.
Borshansky. Yeah, you just got to be like cool with it. Like, Adriel, Borshansky. Borshansky. Okay, I'm going to stop saying it because I think the more I say it, the more wrong I get. Like the full bio of performance before I bring him to the stage, right? Actually, so that we can get you on the mic. Come on stage real quick, so to make sure that is getting into the universe. So I am curious. It's okay. I know it's okay. We oversay. No one likes it when I do this. But I am curious about how long you've been playing music.
Forever, like really forever. I mean,
since the beginning. So the alpha, and then you started making music.
Yeah.
And you'll keep going into the omega.
Exactly.
That's what's up. Yeah, you and Christ.
Exactly.
What inspires you when you are writing songs and making music? Like, what is it that gets you into it?
Other art forms. I mean, like coming to things like this. Honestly, I feel inspired right now, although it might not come into anything
Right.
actually. But
Yeah.
I feel inspired. Just seeing other people perform, listening to other. Often it's actually listening to music that's not similar to the music that I make, like
Gotcha.
listening to stuff that's really weird or just different than like what I tend to make. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Are you excited about sharing some music with us in the universe tonight?
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
super excited.
Please put your hands together for Adriel. He's not a plug-in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna play into the microphone if that's okay. Can I bring this down a little bit?
So are you not singing? You're just playing?
I was gonna do both.
Okay.
Is that okay? Can
Yeah,
I just bring this down a little bit?
Yeah, that's fine. I think we'll be okay.
I can sit down because I can't
Oh,
really.
you want to sit?
Yeah, is that
Gotcha.
possible?
Yeah, all of this is possible. We got a boom mic here, man. Let's make it work. All right, we're gonna
Oh,
take
yeah,
the
let's-
mic and we're gonna bring it this way.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then sit down and let me fit it to you.
Okay. Can it be like kind of out here so that that's probably good.
Get you like that.
Yeah. So that it's both the guitar. Yeah.
I love those things. What do they do?
This thing?
Yeah, I see people put them on the guitar and it makes me think they
Yeah.
know more about guitar playing than
Yeah,
other people who don't
that's the
use them.
trick. Yeah. It just makes it higher pitched.
Oh,
Like
nice.
this is that without this on, and then it goes. Do you hear that? Mm-hmm.
Behind them.
Yeah. What am I doing here? All right. Well, I'm just gonna play. I won't play two. Like maybe I'll play two songs.
Whatever you feel like doing.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd say you settle on two songs that you're really passionate about.
Yeah.
And then you should ask us if we want to hear another.
Okay.
And
That
then we'll
sounds
let you
good.
know.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'll talk a little bit about this song first. It started off as a song about candy that morphed into a song about sexuality, and candy became a kind of a euphemism for other things. So that's how it kind of came about. Have you ever spoken to a child with a bottle in her hand? She stumbles as she crawls beneath a chair, reenacting stories where a tie is a great serpent in pursuit, and the melon on the counter is a decoy. I want some candy. Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me some candy. For a second I can re-exist inside a village of cabooses, where it snows once I've tired of my milk, and then I'm on an island with a woman who intrigues me with her ears. The way they jump up and down as she plays the flute. The way they jump up and down as she plays the flute. I want some candy. Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me some candy. All I want is some candy. No, 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 no. Don't be ashamed of your craving, binding your tongue to your cares. I know you're not really scared of where it leads. Come out of your shell now. Come out of love. Come out of your shell. Come out of your shelter. Come out of love. Come out of your head. Come out of your heart now. Come out of your head now. Oh, oh, oh. Come out of your skin. Come out of your heart. Come out of your. I want some candy. Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me some candy. Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me some candy. I want some candy.
That boy good. That boy good.
Wow, it's
What happens when you
nice
put
to
it there?
play music. Nothing.
Nothing,
It
right?
just
It's
yeah,
a
it just
hold on.
rests there. Yeah.
Maybe something I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't even just say thank you to both of you for performing. I just took my students to the State Department this morning, and I just feel like there's so much more learning that happens, honestly, in this kind of a space, just sharing from the heart than could ever happen in like however many visits to bureaucratic like pompous experts. And what's that?
So this is how papers are filed.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like, they were, smart people with like good intentions,
Yeah.
but like this is the real learning. Like, this is the real classroom, I feel, and I wish I could bring, I wish I could bring my students here. I know.
We're here every Monday.
I know.
Just
I've
throwing
got to
that
do
out
it. Yeah, I'll do this one. Nope. So this is about, it kind of came about, or I was inspired by a conversation with a friend about both of us being children of immigrants and not knowing fluently the language of our parents and constantly dealing with the the doubts about authenticity that come along with that, of like, well, I don't know it fluently, I'm not totally from there, so I guess I'm not really it, so I can't speak from it, or I can't speak to it. And, comparing ourselves to other people who have more credibility because of fluency, or have more credibility because of having been born at the time when their parents were still in whatever home country, and how just sort of trying to reclaim like our own credibility as just human beings, and like our own experiences as valid.
Where's this place you're from?
My parents were born in Ukraine and moved to Brooklyn in the early 80s, or mid 80s actually, yeah. Coney Island, and then moved to New Jersey from there, yeah. So, and I was born in New Jersey, and like, when people are like, "Oh, are you like?" and see my last name and say like, "Oh, you're Russian," and I'm like, "Kind of," like, yeah. So,
Have you been?
no, I haven't.
We can have this
But I want
conversation
to.
later, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Although I'm not even sure that I want to. I mean, of course I would love to, but like,
Is
I'm
that
also.
something that burns inside of you, or you would have done it by now?
Yeah, well, I guess so. And also, like, I don't, I think, like, this actually goes along with the song. Like, I think I used to feel more of a need to sort of, like, well, if that's where I'm told that I'm from,
Yeah.
then I have to go there. Like, it's where I'm from. But also realizing that, like, I'm from all sorts of places. I'm from D.C. now in some ways, so, yeah.
Nice.
Basket case, all right. I don't need your recognition. I got all my own conditions. Okay. Call me what you like. In my own head, empty-handed and disconnected. But I got my heritage. I've been tracing through the right tracks, chasing with my third wheel, awkward in the trunk. Think it's time for me to fight back. All in all, I am who I am, and I'm never gonna be that. Keep your dress sleek, keep your high speak, keep those lines, the book that you read. I'll keep my own plan, I'll keep on being fab, I'll keep on learning how to speak with my own sharp lips. I'll keep on spelling my name until you learn how to say, forget all forms of authority. I've been racing to the right tracks, chasing with my third wheel, awkward in the trunk. Think it's time for me to fight back. All in all, I am who I am. All day long, I've been racing to the right tracks, chasing with my third wheel, awkward in the trunk. It's time to fight back. All in all, I am who I am. All day long, I've been racing to Babylon. Who got to learn the language till your tongue goes numb? Who says I don't belong? Who says the gates to heaven ask for resumes? I'm on my way. I'm on my way, yeah. I've been racing to the right tracks, chasing with my third wheel awkward in the trunk. Think it's time for me to fight back. All in all, I am who I am all day long. I've been racing to the right tracks, chasing with my third wheel awkward in the trunk. Think it's time for me to fight back. All in all, I am who I am all day long. I've been racing to the right tracks. Thanks, guys. Thank you for listening. Yeah. What is that? What is that signal?
Question to ask us.
To ask you all?
You have a question to ask us. After your 2 songs, you were going to ask us a question.
Was I?
Yeah. You agreed to it at the beginning of your set.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah. Okay. What do you really? Okay, what do you guys feel is? What are you wanting right now?
Another song from you.
Okay, really? Are we in that place? Okay, I would also love more poems if we have time for that.
We'll trade. We'll trade
Okay.
a song.
Okay, I'll
for a
trade you.
poem
All right.
And another song.
All right, that sounds good. That sounds good.
We'll do an extra round. Good for you.
Yeah, so I did a project last year where I tried to create a song a day, which did not actually happen. It ended up being like 1 song every 3 days. But yeah, this was one of the songs that I came up with. And inspired by a conversation with my barber in Boston, hair stylist. I don't know. She was a really incredible woman who would tell stories about her like spiritual like hallucinations as a child. So. I told you what was up ahead. Why? I told you I could smell the dead. Why? So God, I'll keep you company so you can cry. Love will find us in the end, ain't no lie. They took my hand and ran away. My. Why don't you cry? I always had some extra sense. My. Spirits in the air, I said. My. So find a little air to vent Why, yeah. We'll feel each other in the end. It ain't no lie. They took my hand and ran away. Yeah, my. Why don't you cry? Thank you for listening. Yeah.
You're really good at this. I'm so happy.
Are you gonna?
I'm gonna get back up.
Do it? Okay, good.
I think I'm gonna do this. No, you're good. You can get off. You can stay. You can play behind me. You can do what you want. This is the hard part about being a host, right? It's not like the witty banter in between. It's not like coming up after like someone who's not very good performs. It's collecting yourself after someone like moves you, and you have to like get back into the business of things. And so I always have that speech prepared for when I need a moment to transition. No, man. I remember the first time I heard you play music, you were playing the piano. Is that true? Yeah. And I thought you were a pianist, which you are, but obviously not your only talent. And I am super duper happy that we got to see you play, and I hope that you come back to Bloom Bars for the open mic, because the rest of DC who's scared of water needs to be able to experience that. How much longer do you got in town before you head overseas? 4 weeks, yeah. That's like 4 Mondays. Just throwing that out there. Just putting that out there. All right, so as promised, I'm going to do another poem, and then you're going to sing a song, and then we're going to salute. All right? In the hospital bed, so the cancer medication could spread more evenly. His eyes welled and cracked like fortune cookies. Inside read, life is short, but being alive is the longest thing you will ever do. Proceed accordingly. If I had attempted this homage to my father 10 years ago, probably would have consisted more of those intangibles that drove me away. Hate and blame more than mere symptoms of childhood angst, but the language I learned to speak in effort to explain how my father's absence from my formative years made me feel. You see, I once considered my father's DNA to be a cancer in me. Understanding the helix to be doubled, I never dreamed of losing myself completely, only half. A man now, I realized my thinking was the cancer. Forgiveness is medication. I'm still waiting for it to spread evenly. Always with the wrong bottle in hand from birth, my father showed me the image of addict. Resembled something like a court jester juggling knives, one blade for family, one blade for work, one for the military that never treated him as equal, one for the father that died when he was 10, another for the mother that was never the same. All the while spiraling down towards the greatest come to Jesus moment ever. 16-year-old son in the back seat as wife picks him up from jail after his second DUI. My father's been sober now for 20 years. My father was a drunk. I was a cokehead. They say parents want children to grow up, achieve feats greater than their own. I don't believe this is what they had in mind. I've spent years mortified of mirrors for having this image projected back on me. Saw the new likeness at the bottom of empty whiskey bottles and clear plastic baggies, mainline hate and blame until I became so high I had nowhere to go. Rock bottom in the sky, I landed in my father's arms. Through falling, I came to realize that just as he did not, I did not ask for this predilection towards addiction, that hate and blame are just new ways to get high for those of us not willing to change, and that which took him 30 years only took me 3 years, because for the last 20, he has shown me what redemption looks like, what a life no longer lived in regret looks like. I refuse to be 20 years down the line, racing down Route 95, a bat out of a homemade hell, stopped by a cop for going 95, exclaiming out of the window of my car that, like all men, my father is dying. And like most men, I never told him that I loved him. Never said, I forgive you, Pops, as I hoped you have forgiven me. Never said, I understand one of those blades you juggled had love for family inscribed in it. And though I realize neither side of this reflection will ever be perfect, I am no longer scared of mirrors, because life is short, but it is the longest thing you will ever do. Proceed accordingly. Thank you. Madame Nadia Danielle. It's such a lovely name. Would you like to sit or stand when you sing your last song? You want to stand, right?
Can I take this?
Yes, you can take it off. You got my twisted up in it a little bit.
Nice.
Oh, this was meant to be photo op.
Wow, that was really good. I'm still processing it. This song technically is not a cover. I did it with one of my old bands about 4 years ago. I really liked it, and I think it's appropriate for now too. Topsy-turvy, young and dirty. Watch out now, the desperate ones will find you. They will find you. Common knows we didn't see you. If you go, we'll surely miss you. You're trying too hard. Yes, you're trying too hard. Too hard. Too hard. Modern life won't get you far. Take your hopes up out that jar. Nothing in life comes to us so easy. Modern life won't get you far. Take your hopes up out that jar. Nothing in life comes to us for free. Young and busty American beauty. Watch out now, the simple life will find you. It will find you. The beautiful ones, they make death tremble. If you go, we'll soon resemble. You're trying too hard. Yes, you're trying too hard. Yes, you are. Modern life won't get you far. Take your hopes up out that jar. Oh, nothing in life comes to us so easy. Modern life won't get you far. Take your hopes up out that jar. Nothing in life comes to us for free. Walk on water, make your own wine. If you lose your soul, you're trying too hard, trying too hard. Walk on water, make your own wine. If you lose your soul, you're trying too hard, trying too hard. Sorry, I was imagining the instruments, so that's part of the reason why it took so long. Forgive me.
I'm mad the song is over and it take too long.
Thank you. Thank you guys for allowing me to come up here and share with you. This was amazing. I'll never forget this night.
Oh my God! You all are amazing. Thank you. Good night. So, real quick, things to remember. There are other events that happen at Bloom Bars. There are Tuesday night movies, and there are events that happen on the weekend nights. And if you know any young ones, there's a very robust youth program. All of this information can be found at bloombars.com, or you can follow us on our various social medias. If you want to know more about me, you can follow me on social media. I expect you to follow me. You're the only person in here that doesn't follow me on social media because I know the three of them. But please, and I also have a website, josephlmsgreen.com. And that's what it's going to be. I was going to ask everyone, is there places where we can find each other's art? What is your website?
It's N as in Nadia, D as in Danielle, song, as in what I say,
ndsong.com. What? Okay. And Adriel?
SoundCloud.
Thank you.
Musician
Adriel. Okay. If I go to your Facebooks and stuff, is there a link to get to your SoundCloud?
Yeah.
There is? If there's not, can you remedy that? Being a musician who's good and would like the world to hear his music? Yeah, you should do that. Just put a link up there. They have spaces for that now. And do you have things online of your art, dancing or anything of that sort? Okay. Well, when you do, that was what I was going to say next. Hey, I think that I don't get things right very often, but I think I was right at the beginning of this program that the size definitely did not matter. I think some profound transformational awesomeness happened here. Taking it seriously, we could have easily fell into cynicism here and been like, no one's here, man, but we didn't do that, and we had a great time.